Warning! Graphic pest control video ahead. Do not watch if you might be offended. If, however, you really like watching pest control videos, then hello again and welcome to the Squirrel Hunter channel. Please continue and watch us as we control pest populations with silenced air rifles here in the UK. If you have any questions, can you please check the description below first to see if it's already been answered and for some useful links. Thank you. As you might have guessed from the title, I have a new rifle, a Theoben Mk1 Rapid in 2.2. And I would like to thank Mr. Paul Farley for brokering the deal. Thank you, Paul. That makes 3 I own now. As you can see, needs a little bit of work doing to it to tidy it up, but mechanically it works just fine. And there you see all three together with a 2.2 at the top. The more observant among you might notice a few differences in that to the one I first showed you. And one of those differences is this quick fill adapter from Pest fittings that I bought at the Stoney show. Very well made. You can fit these yourself if you don't mind doing a little bit of work. You need a few skills, but as you can see it comes in 2 parts. You don't need to use the back part, but the back part will allow you to screw it into the front of the block, and you won't need to do any damage to the stock, no cutting, no fiddling, and it just projects it a bit further forward, which I've done here. It works just fine like that. Wasn't quite happy with the way it balanced though, pushed the bottle a little bit too far forward. As you can see there, the adapter pokes out past the stock. That's what it looks like from above. I prefer the V configuration, it doesn't stick out the bottom and get in the way. There's another view. You can see you connect the quick fill adapter on the left and the gauges on the right. And there it is, back in the stock. If I didn't like that, I decided to do away with the adapter at the back. I started work ever so carefully removing some material in order to put it back into the stock and bring the centre of balance back towards me a bit more. I was very careful to saw only the minimum amount away, and I use this little Dremel tool. It's not a Dremel, it's somewhat similar, but you get the idea. Slowly until such time as it drops back in very neatly into the stock. Then I decided once I've done that I needed to refinish the stock. I'm a bit of a novice at this, but I do know you have to sand it back to bare wood, so I carried on with doing that without looking into it too much. Then I started to stain it with a walnut stain, which I bought off eBay. It's a Birchwood Casey True Oil Gun Stock Finish Kit as recommended by Mr. Farley. He taught me through a few things I needed to do and watch out for, but then I read the instructions and I was off to go. I'm not going to go through an exhaustive process. I took a few pictures along the way, hanging it up in between. I wanted a darker stock on this one. Then I used the True Oil gun finish, light sanding, etc, etc. I mucked it up a couple of times, had to strip it back. But them's the rubs. You can see a close up of the hole there. I'd also like to thank Mr. Grant Upton for selling me this Nico Sterling Target Master Scope. There's the box, there it is out. Excellent little scope. Did complement the Rapid rather well. And as per usual, Mr. Tony Thorold, or aka Tony Bolts, for supplying another SHC bolt, just to make them all look the same. This is the final assembly with all the bits bolted on. I just put the bipod on so I could take a pretty picture. It looks a different rifle now. The addition of the quick fill, making it very easy to fill up without having to take the bottle off. I put some shrink film on that, tidy that up. Close up view of the bolt. The previous owner left these Crossman Premier Ultra Magnums in the bag. I know they go quite well out of it, so I did a bit of zero checking. Now it's all up together in its finished configuration. I'm doing this at 15 yards on my standard little targets I use. All of them in the centre would be nice, but I'm quite happy to accept a quite tight grouping, so I intend to use this on the feeder. That's the third shot. All grouping rather well. Not a one-hole group. Plenty accurate enough for what I want it for. Don't do long-range shooting. Try to engineer situations where I can maintain accuracy time and time again. And that's the 5th shot. They've all punched a rather nice hole in the middle. It's a 1p piece, a little bit bigger than a 5p. Not that it matters much. That's pretty good and I'm happy with it. If you watch the feeder edition, You'll see a certain feeder in a minute that I made up. Did give it a bit of a tour of it. It wasn't long after being made it got pressed into use. This location, the owners have a nice little cottage in the countryside. They have a lot of woodland nearby, as you can see, and the squirrels have found their way to their property. They've had them in the roof space of their house. They've managed to evict them, blanket the holes, but they're getting in the gardens. I'm looking at this tree here as a potential site for that feeder on the ground behind the bag. You would have seen it in that feeder video I made. The squirrels are coming in the garden, digging up the plant bulbs, emptying the plant pots, burying nuts where they shouldn't do. They're doing a bit of gardening work now, and I've mounted the feeder. I've kindly been given a big chunk of board as a backstop and body stopper, and I've baited it with wheat inside. They've chucked some peanuts and we put peanut butter on the outside. And I've been away a few days. I've come back and I can see evidence. The peanut butter's gone, chewing on the wood. All sorts of creatures would eat this, so it's not conclusive it was squirrels. We'll rely on the owners here. They're here every day to tell me if they've seen squirrels in the area. It took a while, but I've been told there's squirrels coming to the feeder. As you can see them at first light. I'm in the hide, where I've scoped it out to be. And there's the feeder, just about make it up. Lots of bird life here. It's really pleasurable to be out. It's going to be a decent day according to the forecast. That's my view of the feeder. I'm hoping they're going to go on the ledge on the left. That was the plan. I didn't think it through very well, I don't think, as you'll see in a bit. I'm all set up now. I've got the Rapid I showed you at the beginning of the video. I'm quite confident it's accurate enough. I want to take it out for a maiden voyage after the squirrels. And this feeder was made not because I had anywhere to put it, because I had the material handy. As soon as I made the feeder, I got lucky with the permission. Because I had a feeder made, I could hang it up and get to work straight away. So sometimes it pays to get your planning right and make sure all the bits and pieces are in place before you get a permission. Anyway, I'm sat in wait now. My first cup of tea of the day in hand. I'm logging into Facebook. Already there's movement. There's quite a few pheasants around this area. There's a couple of shoots, I do believe, in the woods either side. You usually find they spill out to the area they were bred in. They're out of season at the moment. I'm not going to shoot them anyway. Didn't come here to do that. Usually see a cockbird first. The hen birds always seem quite a lot cagier than the cocks. They all seem to move quite slowly. The hen birds don't tend to come in until the cock tells them to. And this one's scoping the area out. He's going to let everybody know he's here now. Wait for it. Yes, you're here. I'm not entirely sure if that's telling every cockbird to stay away or whether to call the females in. They normally got one or two. The ones I've seen up to now have anyway. I'm sat in the hide looking at him. He was there about 5 minutes. I sped this bit up now. He had a good look about. And he's walking towards me now. I did wonder if he's come over to inspect the hide. Pretty bird, quite a striking neck. Shows it really well, doesn't it? In the half light. You can tell what the time of year is. Early spring. He disappears off to the right. I'm left looking at the feeder. I've put this on just to record the bird's song. It is truly enjoyable to be at this time in the morning. Watching nature wake up. I always think that spring is an optimistic time of year for the animals. Breeding season's kicked in. Weather's getting better. All that harshness of winter's gone, or theoretically it has. We've had some terrible weather here lately. Wind and rain, cold snaps. All seems a bit back to front the seasons. I didn't come here to worry about the weather. Hear all sorts of noises. It wasn't long before Mr. Pheasant comes back again. Looks like he's come for another look. Definitely looks like he's trying to scope the place out. Looks like he's coming ready for a fight to me. Or maybe he's come for a feed. Oh no, he's brought a girl with him. It must have been a recce, the first one. Now he's come to bring the girls in. Or girl even. As at this point I didn't realise he had more than one. Until that one turned up. And they don't make any mess in. They come for breakfast. I can only assume he's on guard duty. And this is where I see that my backstop wasn't the best thought out backstop ever. You see the one on the left can't get anywhere near the trough to get the food. And what have we here? He's got 3 girls. More girlfriends than any other pheasant I've ever seen. They'll have to be nice girls and form an orderly queue. And one on the ground's looking for a bit of spilt grain. One on the left's puzzling over how to get near that trough, and the one on the right is pigging out. This will explain why the level drops so drastically. The potential for pheasants on it having their fill every day. Don't normally get this much trouble on our other feeders. Said it before and I'll say it again. Despite the brown appearance, when you look really closely, they are pretty birds. Still, it's something to look at. I was pleased to see so many hen birds in one spot. You can imagine once they filled their crop each, I don't know how many times a day they feed, probably more than once, 3 or 4 times I would imagine. Throughout the day, that level's going to drop like a stone. Because it's a tall, thin feeder, you do see the level drop quite noticeably, which is a good indicator that something's on it. At this point I'm starting to suspect I might need a lid. I don't want them on that side. Having a free feed. There we go. All change. They are playing like good girls. And here comes another one. And another one. We've got 5 girls now. And Mr. Pheasant's disappeared from view. Not sure if he's off patrolling the borders. Or rounding some more up, I don't know. He certainly has a lot of girlfriends. Quite an impressive pheasant. I couldn't quite believe it at that point. I sped this bit up. I watched him for quite a long time. All sorts of shenanigans going on, but all fairly good natured. There's no squabbling going on. And here comes another one. Shepherded in by Mr. Pheasant. Another girlfriend. Maybe she was doing her nails. There's always one late one, isn't there? So that's 6. Has he got any more tucked away? Looks for all the world like he's staring at me. Yes, yes, I know. You're the top boy around here. No need to stare. The last count he had 6 wandering around here. They all seem quite calm and relaxed. Them overseeing the proceedings. Looks like the pecking order's being redefined on top of the body stopper there. As the one having a feed tells the other she's going to have to wait. So I'm impressed. 6 girls. Looks like another dominant one's jumped up, pushed in, and here we got another one. There we got 7 on the ground. And as she wanders in from behind me, and that pile of sticks to the right in front. Here he comes. Looks like he's rounded up another one of his girlfriends. She's got 7 now. Truly impressive beast he is. He stands smack in the middle, staring at me again. This time of year they'll fight anyone. Not many of them are moving very quickly. That's pretty much the way they do it here. Bit of telling off there. Not sure what she did to incur the wrath of the big boss, or whether he wants some loving. Just letting everyone know he's still here. All the girls are gone now. Like the true gentleman he is, he's waited to the end to have a feed himself. So that's 8 pheasants having a free feed. We're going to have to do something about this. Not happy at that. Don't mind the odd freeloader. It gets beyond a joke. A marvellous set of colours on him. Quite clearly the boss of the area. I got lots of footage of this, I didn't share it all with you. The only thing that's missing is squirrels. And they're supposed to be here. And look what we have. He appeared from nowhere. I don't think he likes my hide. And he's on the wrong side. And he's doing what the pheasants did. And he legs it, something's upset him. It's very annoying really. Turn the camera off and on again. As I spot him coming back down the tree. He ran off to the right up the tree, turned around, came back down again. He's still on the right hand side. It looks like the squirrel wants his breakfast. And I spot more movement up the tree to the right. And it's something else that's on the pest register in the UK. It's a blue jay. They're egg thieves. But in this location, they're not causing any problem. So if that comes down for a feed, I won't be shooting it. But this fellow is a pest and causing a problem here. I'm sat to the right of my camera, so I've got that tree directly behind him in my sight line, so I can take a safe shot and hit him straight in the head. Drop him behind the board, unfortunately. That's a disadvantage, him not being on the left hand side, so the backstop was for there. I've had to go out and check on him now. Rather annoying, but I had to do it. He was dead behind the board, so I left him there. I go back to the hide, continue my vigil. As per usual, we get a robin. And that hopper has put that width to make the wheat flow out easier. I don't think the big hoppers are the best idea ever. This is more like it, the morning's getting on a bit. Another squirrel's made its way to the feeder. And what I should have done is when I went out to visit that one to check it was dead on the floor, I should have picked it, I think. In fact, that's what I'm going to do in future. This location, if one ends up behind the board and I have to go out to it, I'm going to pick everything in the area. We've seen a bit of a spate of nervous squirrels lately. A woodpecker hammering away on a dead tree in the background. That's more like it. Go on, get on the other side. You can see the hopper's way too big and the ledge is way too small by the look of it. I'll have to move that out. That's better, being sat on top of there. Nice solid backstop, even though I'll have to shoot the feeder. I'm not too worried about that. I just wanted to sit up. Head movement, far too quick. There's absolutely no reason to rush the shot. Nice straight on headshot there. That's more like it. You can see it's sat on the edge of that metal quite comfortably. It's amazing what they'll hang on to. They've evolved into a perfect climbing machine. They don't hang on too well, and you hit them with a good headshot. And there's another problem I can see now. Only a little gap under the edge of the body stopper. Hasn't stopped the body, but I can still see it. I knew the shot was good from the impact and the way it reacted. I can just see it kick in its last. I can see the shot was good. No need to break cover. If you bet on at least half an hour wait, there might be other squirrels up the tree waiting to come down. I don't want to put them off if I can help it. Back to videoing birds, and just about to see the tail of the last squirrel I shot. I did wonder if we get any tail plucking going on. It's about that time of year, nest building. All the songbirds have moved into the area. It's almost like they come in waves. There's a pigeon landing in the tree above my head. Sounds loud because it's close. It's about 6 foot above my head in the tree. I can't shoot it, and I probably wouldn't anyway, to be honest. They're not really causing a problem here, unless the owners tell me they're doing something. I won't be shooting them either. Maybe there's two up there. You can only guess what's going on. Bit of calling. And Mr. Pheasant's back. Now he's looking like he's checking out the area. Maybe he's got some more girls, who knows. Not long after he disappears into the undergrowth, see another one of his girls come out. You can learn a lot from watching nature. Evolution has sculpted best practice into their behaviours, their shapes, the way they do things, their colourings. And despite the fact she's got excellent camouflage for sitting down in amongst the brown of the ground, sitting on her eggs, the movement is what gives her away. At first glance, you wouldn't see her probably, but the movement is what shows you where she is. And the movement she uses is very deliberate, very slow. And if you're going to be a hunter or get out in the field, even just watching wildlife, if you move that way, you'll have a lot more success. She was there a while, and then eventually she decided it was safe to come out. Just her on her own this time. Maybe she's another one of his girls who hasn't managed to make it to feed. He's got 8 girlfriends. He must be truly the Ron Jeremy of pheasants. Or there must be some other thing about him. Maybe all the males have been shot, I don't know. But he's definitely the king of this hill. For whatever reason that is. And now I've zoomed back. Her camouflage is working quite well against the background of brown until she sits on the feeder. And she's all too obvious. Sometimes an advantage of having a light coloured feeder. But once they've found their feeder, doesn't matter what colour it is, you can see she can balance on that and eat. I'll definitely have to do something about that. I turn the camera back on and start filming her again, because I've seen movement in the bushes behind them trees and I'm pretty sure it was a squirrel. I'm just looking for where he's gone. And I've seen movement up the tree somewhere. And there we go. On that branch. There's absolutely no chance of a shot here. The pellet would leave the boundaries and I'd be committing an offence, which I'm not about to do. Not to shoot a squirrel. Sort of hoping that when the pheasant goes it'll come back down. And then it starts to move off to the right. And I can only look on and film him. He's done a good scratch. I was expecting him to dart off to the right and jump across another tree. But it doesn't. It bounds back. Shoots back down this back tree. Gets behind the feeder. I did expect it to attack that pheasant at that point. Maybe try to bully it off. Sort of hoping the wheat is the reason it's come back. But the pheasant's unfazed and she's going to have her fill before she goes anywhere. Quite frustrating really. I don't know where that squirrel's gone. Sort of guessing it might be beyond that backstop looking at the squirrels on the ground. In hindsight that seems like a logical conclusion to make. There's one on the right just below that pheasant. But she hasn't reacted to the squirrel's presence. So maybe it isn't. Although she's having a look there. She looks a bit nervy. I saw movement to the left then. Suddenly she's become a lot more jittery. And then goes back to feeding again. Definitely nervous, but the food's a big magnet. I do think the squirrel might be on that tree now. Or certainly a lot closer to her. Looks like she's looking over at me. But she hasn't up to yet, so I don't think she did. Difficult when you can't see, isn't it? This is where patience comes in. We're in no rush. The fact the squirrels run back down this way I see more movement there. I'm pretty sure that was a squirrel. So maybe it shot over to the left. Or maybe there's two of them. I didn't have a clue what was going on at this moment. I just know I can't really shoot them until they sit on that feeder. Unless they present a decent shot and sit nice and still for me. Maybe she's looking in that direction, over to her right hand side, where I saw the movement in the bushes. You'll never know. All I do know is there is a squirrel nearby, and it'll pay me to keep the camera running. And she's finally got off there. Nothing happened for about 5 minutes, and I turn the camera off, and as per usual, as soon as you do that, a squirrel appears. It's on the back edge of the tree. It's going down to the one that I wish I'd picked up now. It's on the wrong side of the feeder, but I have got a good backstop if it sits still. What they tend to do is munch a bit like that until eventually they sit up. Excellent. And it goes the same way as squirrel 1 did. I had the camera already on the rifle up and ready, waiting for the opportunity. I saw some movement kicking there now. So rather annoyingly, I'll have to get out the hide and check it again. I was pretty sure I hit it right. So I'll have to break cover for a second time. I'm back in the hide again, on the bird watch. They can all have a free feed. Those of you who think this is a bird feeder, who haven't really got the point, no it's not. We just don't mind them having a free feed normally when they're little birds like this. But 8 pheasants is a bit too much really. Never mind. I had 3 squirrels in this tiny little garden out in the countryside. And hopefully they won't be able to dig up the garden bulbs anymore and cause all the damage they do everywhere else in our country. Quick look at the ornaments there. Quite like these little monkeys. You can see all these divots dug into the grass. I think a lot of these are squirrels foraging. There's a few nut trees around. They're either burying or digging up. They usually get in these plant pots and pull the bulbs out. There they are. A couple of squirrels there. Another one there. I really want them to drop this side. There they are with the new Rapid. Maiden squirrels. The owner was very pleased to see 3 of them down. I did try to do a bit of ad hoc pheasant proofing. Put a load of branches they pruned. Try and make them go on the other side or stop them going on the right hand side. Turned out to be an abject failure. Top the feeder right back up ready for next time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.